All right, so we're gonna do. Matt and I are gonna do a quick, little more extended review of Ultraman Avengers because Matt had some thoughts and I wanted to pick his brains on it, and we're gonna give our thoughts on it. We tried this before, but then I bumped my camera and my camera just decided nope.
Well, you know what? That's actually not a bad lead into this comic, kind of, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a book that just it's a book that is just meh.
Yeah.
Now, admittedly, it's a comic like I would pick over Godzilla fighting the Avengers.
Yeah, for damn sure I'd pick it over that.
Yeah, and there is some positive. There is a good. What frustrates me is that there's a good book here.
Yes. So, like, some high points for the series, and I found this book to just be okay. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I wanted more from it, but it was okay. I didn't leave it, like, pissed off like I did Godzilla versus Avengers. So I like the idea of Galactus going to the Ultraverse. You and I were talking. The idea that Miles is kind of able, Miles Morales, to track where Galactus went because of his Spider-Verse history being from another universe was cool. I liked Galactus using one of Ultraman's alien enemies as an avatar. I liked the idea of the Ultra monsters being drawn to power, so they were drawn to Galactus. The humor in this was not like the terrible humor in Godzilla vs. Avengers, especially around Peter. It hits pretty well. I know you and I both liked. There's a scene where like they see that in this universe, Ultraman Jack isn't an Ultra; he's like a mech, and Peter makes a thing like, "Oh man, if I had a mech, I could be as cool as Takuya," like referencing the Toei Spider-Man, and Miles was like, "No, you couldn't." And Peter's like, "Yeah, I definitely could."
Yeah, I actually got a little giddy with that one when they referenced Toei Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was cool.
I was kind of like, are they going to allow that joke?
Yeah, I know. So just to see that was pretty neat. Then some of the downsides, I was not particularly thrilled, and I don't think Kyle Higgins was either, with some of the Avengers that were chosen to be in this story. Miles makes a lot of sense. It's always cool to throw Peter into a story. He's like, my favorite and a lot of people's. Actually, I thought Captain Marvel made a lot of sense for this story, actually, because she serves a similar purpose to Ultraman in the Marvel universe. Iron Man, of course, makes a ton of sense. But then I was like, Sam I'm okay with, but he was written more like Steve in this story, so I've been like, that was a bit of a detraction. Wasp, I have no idea why she's there and not freaking Giant Man. That would have made way more sense.
Yeah. And it also, like, Janet can grow big, too.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it from this story, would you?
Yeah. They, I feel like it really only feels like Kyle has a voice for Peter. Because even his Miles just sounds like Peter Part 2.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I thought his Tony was okay.
I think but it's really hard not to mess with Tony. Like that's what I've noticed with modern Marvel writers. It's hard not to mess up Tony as a character.
Because Downey's done such a fantastic job of establishing his tone and voice and everything. You think?
Yeah. Not only that, you just watch an MCU movie and that's Tony from now on.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I will also say that I think Higgins has a great voice for Galactus.
Yes, agreed.
Because he's like, and the other thing is, like, Higgins understands Galactus isn't openly malevolent. He is he's this being that's, like, he can be reasoned with, and also, like, if I don't do this out of, like, evil, I do this because if I die, a universe dies with me.
Right, he's even more than just a predator carrying out his function. Where it's, like, a lion's not inherently evil, it's just hunting because it needs to survive. But Galactus also understands that him devouring planets the way he does, well, yes, killing potentially billions of souls also serves a very important role in the multiverse itself, right?
Yeah, like basically, to consume this planet's energy. That energy is going to create another world. Like more like planets die so other ones can come in from the ashes of those planets, and
right.
He even says, like, to Ultraman, I'm not doing this because, like, I don't want to do this.
Yes. And there were some really good moments. So, like, there was some good build-up that led to great moments that then maybe were a little bit of a letdown. instance, when you get to the end of issue 2, there's a fantastic scene where Galactus is setting up his equipment to devour Earth, and Ultraman, before everybody attacks him, is like, let me talk to him. And he tries to, like you had just referenced, talk Galactus down. And I feel like that was a very Ultraman-like thing to do. He's like Superman, where his first approach would be like, let's not fight, let's try to see if we can't find a common ground, as opposed to like a Godzilla who would just, attack. So I thought that was really well written. But then, when it looked like we were going to get both the Avengers and the Ultras and the Science Patrol going at Galactus, they just had like a bunch of the Ultra monsters who show up because they were attracted to Galactus, and basically they fought them instead. So
yeah.
Like, okay.
But at least like this comic kept its promise of Ultraman fighting Galactus in some capacity, unlike another comic that just made it a joke.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2 to 3 comics that made it a joke.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Take a pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. We did get to see Ultraman fight Galactus. We did get to see, which was a pretty cool thing, admittedly, on par with like the Venomized Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Spider-Man was pin particles being used on Cap's shield and Ultraman wielding a giant Captain America shield to fight Galactus.
Yeah.
That was pretty fan service. I felt like.
Which also, by the way, when Sam is like, hey, hey Janet, you still have those that molecules that make things big, and I was like, just call, you know what they are. You know what they are, Sam.
Yeah. But then there was some other disappointing things in it. The way Sam was written, I'm like a Sam fan, but Sam is not Steve, and he was written like Steve. There's a scene where he gives this speech about like having for people to take comfort in the Avengers and they're here to save them and have a city type of thing, and it was like a well written speech, but it was definitely a Steve speech and not Sam's type speech, right?
Yeah. Like the whole time it's like, and also like another moment that felt almost like Sam, where he's like talking to Peter like they're having like busting each other's balls for a second, and then he goes, for real though, like I like having you around, like you're it's always an honor to fight alongside you and Miles. And I'm like, I feel like that was Kyle's little finger at everyone who treats Spider-Man so badly in his comics.
Oh yeah, for sure. I thought that, and I thought a nice nod to the real life friendship between Anthony Mackie and Tom Holland, where they kind of like poke fun at each other, but they're really good friends, and they play Captain America and Spider-Man. But then there were definitely some disappointing things about this. The most disappointing thing to me, and nothing frustrates you more than this, is when we get to the end of issue 3, because I actually bought these issues as they came out as opposed to reading trade, was it ends with Galactus realizing how much power is in the Land of Light and heading there, and in order to stop him, Ultra Father is like, Taro, you've got to go stop this dude. And I was like, oh damn, we're getting one of the best Ultras there is. An Ultraman more powerful than base Ultraman and Taro fighting Galactus. And then the entire fight takes place off panel. We don't see it at all.
Yeah, that I was like, you have got to be kidding me. And also, like, there's moments that just feel like they should be bigger, and they don't happen. Like when Ultra Father like meets, they contact the Land of Light, and Shin and Ultraman go to speak to Ultra Father, and Ultra Father's like, this would normally be a touching moment, but emotions are not needed. We have work to do. And I'm like, cool. I feel like that was meant for, like, that moment was clearly meant for a more deeper moment, but Marvel and Tsuburaya just cut that moment out. Like,
right. Like he's a mentor to Ultraman. He's Ultra 7's father. Is that correct? It's been a while since I've seen that.
I think if I remember right, I think he's the father of the first 7 Ultra.
Okay. So yeah, that was a really missed opportunity. Again, it just seemed like kind of Jim. It would have been more had we gotten to take 2 more issues, like you said. So that was okay, but it wraps up in an okay way. We do get to see Ultraman use the giant cap shield to fight Galactus alongside the Avengers, and they stop him. We do get to see, like, in a kind of fun nod to Toei Spider-Man, Peter and Miles operating the Ultraman Jack mech, and Peter makes a joke about it. So that was okay.
Yeah.
But again, just the whole thing's just okay. Like I would say, if you're an Ultra fan, it's worth picking up for the novelty of seeing Ultraman with some of the American heroes, the Avengers in this case. And it's not terrible. You won't be like pissed off like some of these Marvel Godzilla crossovers are leaving us. But but it's not going to be, like in my opinion at least, I have found for the most part the first Godzilla Power Rangers to be very fulfilling, or the first Justice League Godzilla Kong to be really fun, and it met most of my expectations. I found Monster Beast Theater to exceed my expectations. This one was just kind of like a little under my expectations, but not super disappointing.
Yeah. I think also just the fact of the matter is, like, the other thing I want to bring up is, like, the fact that we got it is really cool. But it does make me worry that, like, did this cost Kyle Higgins to finish his run? Because we have heard no news about a new Ultraman Marvel book, and this is in continuity, and there are plot holes here that aren't touched on anymore. So it just feels like we're just not in that universe anymore. I don't know if Tsuburaya just decided to take the toys and run. But yeah. Also, Power Cosmic Zarab was cool. I wish, though, you know who I really wish it was instead of Zarab? Mephiles.
Yes, that would have been very cool. That would have been very cool.
But I heard that Mephiles is one of the two villains alongside Doctor Doom in the Spider-Man Ultraman manga, which I do want to read.
Yes, I pre-ordered that. I've heard really good things about that one. And that might be... Sometimes it's easier to do two characters in a crossover than to do two teams of characters, because you have to give everybody like a chance to shine. So I have heard good things about the Spider-Man Ultraman manga. I think it's called Ultraman Along Came Spider-Man. So if you'd like to review that at some point in the future, I would definitely be in for it. Not having read it yet, but I'd still be in for that.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think we just wanted to do a quick overview on everything. It's a C- crossover.
Yeah. I will say that one thing this did make me want to see is, having seen Higgins take on Peter, Spider-Man in particular, is I'd love to see him do Spider-Man with his own character in Radiant Black. I think that'd be a great crossover if Higgins was to do it. Yeah.
I also do want to see, I would like to see Higgins do a Tokusatsu Spider-Man run, because he's doing Tokusatsu Batman. Right?
Yes! That's a great call.
Yeah, I would like Tokusatsu Batman. I'm looking forward to that, of just how batshit bonkers that comic will be.
Yes.
But I would like to see him do Takuya Spider-Man, do a miniseries on that if Toei will allow it.
That would be great. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I think it would sell well too. Maybe they'll wait for, if we already get that, apparently he's going to appear, or at least Leo Hardin is going to appear in the third animated Spider-Verse movie, so if they ever get that together, maybe we'll see it around then.
Yeah, I think that would be the best time. I would mind a 4 or 5 issue miniseries from Higgins doing Toei Spider-Man miniseries. That would be a lot of fun. And hey, I'm just saying, maybe you could do something, if you could work again with Tsuburaya Industries, assuming you're on good terms, Marvel, Toei Spider-Man and Ultraman?
Oh, for sure. That'd be great.
Yeah. And hey, you're working with DC again, and depending on how big that Kyle Higgins Batman comic, manga Batman thing he's doing is big, maybe you could do that with Toei Spider-Man.
And here's the craziest thing. So, two very, very mixed results. We've gotten Godzilla and Marvel one-shots with Destroys the Marvel Universe coming out. Any chance Marvel is the medium to give us an official Godzilla vs. Ultraman comic?
Seeing how bad they fumbled the bag with Godzilla,
No, that's a very good point. We'll see. Hey, listen, let's put our faith in Jason Aaron.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's kind of our a little more in-depth, and yeah. So what did you guys think of Ultraman's Avengers? Guys, like it, hate it, comment below, let us know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.